Hi everybody, I'm Chef Paula with Cooking with Stars and Village Connection magazine. Join with me, an incredible man, 22 years worth of being a physical therapist. This is
Bill
Broglie.
There you go. Thank
exactly.
you.
Thank you very kindly.
Thanks.
Of New Beginnings Community Center. And you tonight are called an Angel of Hope.
Yes.
Now,
yes.
just the word Angel of Hope makes me feel as though every time you're working with a patient, you are infusing them with hope and determination to be able to get themselves to that next level. Would that be true?
Yeah, I guess there's truth to that. Thanks, Paula, for having me here. But yeah, I think therapists, we're like a teacher to our patients, and we're a motivator, and a coach. So we have like a lot of different hats we got to wear. And with the TBI population, it can be a little difficult, sometimes challenging. But it's not just the physical, but it's the emotional, and it's all the deficits you got to work with. So it could be a challenge. And yeah, we're giving them hope. Because it's like an open book. It's not like you fracture a bone in 4 weeks or 8 weeks it's healed. With a TBI, we have to give them a lot of hope because we don't know what the end result's going to be. So as far as where their function would be and stuff like that. So, and everyone's at different levels. So.
Now, what I want to know is Allison made a point of it to talk about, people like her dad may not have been the ideal patient per se. What is it, would you say, would be the ideal patient who comes to you, who really, it has a really good opportunity to be able to take themselves, to much more towards recovery, full recovery?
Again, like with a neurological or a stroke or a TBI, it's tough to say what is the perfect, because we have, so many patients at different levels. And we have some very low functioning where they can't walk and they're a Hoyer lift.
Sure.
But mentally it can be so intact, so you can have conversations.
Okay.
I think with that population it's tough to say what is the perfect one. But me personally, and as a physical therapist, if they're walking, if we can get them walking, I love patients that are more mobile and they're able to walk and do things. And the higher level patients, a lot of our patients are able to walk, but they have that balance issue, on uneven ground or level ground, or you put them in a challenge situation, they can't handle some of the simplest things. They look really good walking straight ahead, but as soon as they change direction, they can lose their balance. So you got to find out what that deficit is with each patient. And sometimes they look fine, they're walking straight, and then they go talk and turn their head while they're walking. They say hi to someone and they lose their balance. So the eyes can be involved, the ears can be involved. So there's so much that can be involved. And I just want to, I knew tonight she was going to mention her dad, and I mentioned her dad. And she always would tell the story and say how he was such a difficult patient. And to me, he never was, because I guess I looked at it like I'm a PT, and okay, let me turn the page. Who am I dealing with today? Do my evaluation. And Al was always a pleasure to work with, so I guess I never shied away from him. And I loved Al. I love him. He's a very strong man, successful businessman for many years. So I know this was hard on him with his injury. But I was like Allison said, he's so difficult. I was sort of like scared to like work with this patient. And he was one of the patients that were able to walk. It's just that his balance was really, really bad. And he had some weakness, but the muscle tightness that he had, and then when a patient has all that tone and muscle tightness, they don't have a fluid movement. So walking doesn't come as easy. And that's where he had an issue. And so I had to stretch him a lot. And when I had him on the mat, that's where we developed like our friendship. I would stretch him on the mat. He had some of the tightest hamstrings I've ever seen. And after a couple of weeks of stretching with him and working with him, when he started getting a little rude to me and not so quiet and started like cursing me out, I started laughing, and he laughed back at me. He goes, "What the hell's wrong with you?" He goes, "So now I know that you love me and you trust me." And because I seen the way he was cursing and talking to his family, and he started doing that to me, it says, okay, now I know he loves me. Yeah. So I was great to work with. He was never difficult for me, but for Allison, I know it's difficult on the families and stuff like that.
Now, when Allison did mention to you, if I ever open up a place, would you become my physical therapist? When she said that to you, did you think like what she was saying inside? He must have thought I was crazy.
She mentioned that, and I didn't have that in my speech prepared. But when she said that was totally realistic, and I probably hesitated and said, "Oh, okay, let's keep in touch." I thought she was a little crazy, but but the more I got to know Allison and her husband Steve, you know, and the follow up to that, Steve came to me at that same facility as he was picking up Al, and he says, "Come here, I want to talk to you for a second." Pulled me into the kitchen, and he told me, you know, we're going to open up our own place someday. We want you to be there with us. I'm like, and I knew it. The way Steve talks, I says, I knew it. And I knew Allison. I had a little hesitation. But when Steve said it and backed up what Allison was saying, I says, you know, this is a good thing. There's such good people from, you know, Allison and her dad and the whole family and Steve. So I knew I was with, you know, and I mentioned in my speech, I'm building another relationship. You know, you build those relationships, and sometimes you got to be in the right place, the right time, and Allison nailed it on the head. That's how I that's how I work with my patients. She says, like, give everyone like the utmost care and the attention. Excuse me. I've been doing that since I've been a PT, because someone wrote me a letter probably 15 years ago. Someone wrote me a letter who was a writer for Newsday, a sports writer, and I treated him for his shoulder a long time ago. And the words that he put in the letter after he got discharged, I was shocked. And he gave it to me. He goes, "I just want you to have this. You know, this case for a reference." And I just appreciate it so much. What he said was Allison saying this 15 years later. He says, "Bill," and this patient, his name was Jim, and he says, "You treat a patient, you look so busy, and you're going from patient to patient to patient, but when you're with that patient, it's like no other patient is in the room. It's like you give them such the attention." I says, "Thank you so much. I didn't realize that anyone would notice something like that, but that's how I think."
And I can tell you, knowing that my parents, you know, in their latter years had some physical difficulties, and I was looking for a great physical therapist, and I'm so sorry then I did not know you. But now, guys, I know Bill, and I would say that this Angel of Hope gives so many other people, 200 people per what? What's the actual
Well,
quantity?
I think we're probably, like with everybody, like 200 treatments a week. Allison asked me, she asked me last week, and she goes, "Oh my God, my numbers are probably off." I says, "Well, I treat close to like 80 in PT a week. You know, and then you got speech and you got OT." So she goes, "You think it's like 200? I'm like, "Yeah."
Unbelievable.
Because speech does like half-hour sessions, so they're really busy, and we're doing like an hour session in PT. So
All I can say is I congratulate you, and I am honored to be able to interview you, to spend the evening celebrating your work and the work of all the people from New Beginnings.
thank you so much for coming
Bill.
out.
It was
Thank
such a
you.
privilege.
Thanks for coming out and supporting New Beginnings. Thank you.
My pleasure.
Thanks.
This is Chef
Thank you so
Paula,
much.
Cooking with Stars and Village Connection Magazine. Have a great night, everybody.